So I just wanted to take this moment and talk about something that I've been thinking a lot more about recently. As a whole, as the world becomes much more of a global place, this feeling is increasingly common amongst people. So I'd just like to talk about my experience being from a dual national family, having parents from 2 different countries, 2 different cultures, and how that has affected me as a person and me growing up. So I wouldn't consider myself a third culture kid, although there are aspects of that that I do relate to quite strongly. And I'm sure some of you guys are probably third culture kids, and I'll just read the definition out loud real quick. So third culture kids are people who have spent a portion of their formative childhood years, around 0 to 18, in a culture different from their parents. But as some of you probably know, my dad is Finnish and my mom is American. Now I spent pretty much all of my formative childhood in Finland, and if you were to ask me, Katja, where are you from? My answer would be Finland. Automatic, no questions asked. But on the other hand, if someone asked me, are you American? I would say, well, yeah, of course I'm American. That's just the most outer layer of it. I say I'm Finnish, I say I'm American, but what do I actually feel? Because that's just like holding a passport. Yeah, I'm from that country, but am I really from that country? And that's where the confusion starts to form, for me at least, because sometimes I feel like I'm from neither of them. And of course now I'm living in a third culture from those 2. I'm living in the UK, Scotland. So now I have that added to the mix. Of course I don't feel like I'm British. I don't feel like I'm from Scotland for obvious reasons, but there are times I don't feel either Finnish or American. So I just kind of wanted to take this time to kind of explore my feelings about this, and maybe some of you guys can share your own experiences in the comments. So yeah, as I said, if someone were to ask me where am I from, like here obviously coming to university, one of the first questions everyone asks you is, so where are you from? And I say Finland. I'm Finnish, I speak Finnish, I'm from Finland. But then I have grown up in an environment where I do have a lot of American influences. My accent, for one, is clearly American. My worldview has been shaped by my mom as well. I've gone to the States pretty much every year of my life. I have family there, but I don't quite feel American, if that makes any sense. But then again, I don't quite feel Finnish either. Like, I'm kind of hovering in this weird middle place where I feel like I don't quite belong completely in either culture. So it's hard to explain. So let's take Finland for example. So I was born in Finland. I've lived in Finland until I was 20 years old. You know, so I grew up there. I speak the language. I am a Finnish citizen. I should probably feel Finnish. And I do. It's the country I identify with the strongest. And if I think of a country that I would consider home, Finland would be that place. When I think of home, I think of my parents' house in Finland. However, when I compare myself to other Finnish people that have been born and raised in Finland as well, but don't have as much of an international background as me, I don't feel like I quite fit in. When I hang out with Finnish people that are 100% Finnish, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we don't particularly have in common, and just as a whole, I think a big part of it was I went to international school since I was 7 years old, so I was kind of in a bubble within Finland, in an international bubble. Of course I did hobbies and I interacted with outside of the bubble, but the bubble really made me not integrate with other Finnish people as much as, you know, probably would be ideal to feel 100% Finnish. And through that, most of my friends are from an international background. You know that feeling where you feel like, I feel like I'm Finnish, but I feel like I'm not Finnish enough sometimes. You know, I'm too European to be American. So for some things, for example, behavior. I don't behave like a typical Finnish person. Of course I have traits like being more of an introvert. I follow Finnish customs more than I would follow American customs because, you know, I was brought up in Finland. Like just these kinds of umbrella terms that people associate with Finnish people, I have more of these traits than I do have like American stereotypical traits. But then when you compare me to an average Finnish person, I don't really behave like them either. Or when you compare me to an average American person, I don't know, this is like super vague because of course there's all sorts of people in both countries, but as like a general rule, like I don't really behave exactly like either of them. Because of course when I'm in Finland, I have all these American influences that I've had that shapes me to be a bit different from the typical Finnish kid. And then in America, of course, I've had my Finnish upbringing and all the Finnish influences, so that my perspective is a bit different. And of course, like in America, you have all sorts of cultures coming together, and it's a whole racial mixture of different folk from all over the world. But just in general, at least like where my mom's family lives in, it's quite, people don't really leave their city too much, or the country for that matter. So of course I stick out as the Finnish person, and so then sometimes it just feels like wherever I am, I'm kind of the foreigner. So in America, I'm seen as the Finnish kid, the foreigner, which, you know, I am. And then in Finland, I'm seen as the American, because I'm not completely Finnish, so I'm right away seen as the foreigner there too. So it kind of feels like, and of course here in the UK as well, I'm clearly a foreigner. So sometimes it just feels like wherever I am, I don't quite fit in, and I'm always kind of on the outside, not really a part of that country. But you know, I don't really mind. That's why I guess I kind of gravitate towards other international students and people who have quite similar backgrounds as me. Maybe they haven't lived in one particular country their whole life, but maybe they've moved around, or maybe they went to international school as well. I feel like we have a lot of things in common. But then on the other hand, I would never change this experience for anything. I really love having the opportunity and to have the chance to be a part of different countries and different cultures, and I'm really happy that my life is the way it is. Like, I really appreciate that I can experience both the American life and I can experience also the Finnish life, and now I'm experiencing the British life, and I feel really grateful and thankful that life's handed me these opportunities and experiences to me. So I would never ever change that to the world. But sometimes, you know, especially if, you know, a certain instance happens and it really hits you that, wow, even though I'm Finnish, I'm not Finnish enough, or wow, I'm always gonna be a bit of a foreigner in my own country, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just a little thought I had. But yeah, it is true, when I really learned to appreciate Finland a lot more when I moved away, that when I'm on an airplane going back to Finland, I do feel like I'm going home. Like when I land in Finland, I get off the plane, I'm in the airport, I just feel real settled and it feels real homey to me. I'm like, oh, I'm finally home, I'm in Finland, love life. But yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this video. I'm sure it was one big mess, and I'm sorry about that. My thoughts on this topic are real muddled, and no matter how much I was trying to shift through them beforehand, it still kind of ended up a mess. But yeah, if you have any similar stories to share, please comment them down below. Maybe we have something in common. So yeah, I guess that just about concludes this video. So until next time.